Alright, so here we are in a 2026 Nissan Frontier, and we're going to install this Viofo A229 Pro. And this is going to sit up here, up in the windshield area. We're going to run the wires down and along this pillar, and then we also are going to install the rear camera. So since I haven't seen anybody do a video on this, I figured I'm going to do it. And we're going to go learn together some mistakes, and we're also going to learn what it takes to actually install this. So let's take a look. So if you look up here, there's enough of a gap that I can get my fingers in there naturally, and that's where we're going to run the wire to. And we're going to come around here to, I don't know what pillar this is, A, B, C, take your pick. And we're going to actually run the wire through here. And then we're going to come down here along the actual door seal gasket. I don't really want to mess with any plastic back here or any of these vents, so I'm just going to go down here. The big thing that you have to worry about once you get down here is you'll see this one says SRS airbag. It's actually right under here, so you don't want to be running wires up in front here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go behind the channel here in the back, and then we're going to follow along in the back here. We're going to go see if I can pull this down. There is actually some carpeting you can actually pull down back here. We're going to run the wire back behind this, and then we're going to run it around the corner right behind the actual airbag itself. So it's going to go around the corner, kind of following this cable, and go up over here, and then be able to go get power from my power distribution system. You know, you can maybe just have a USB cable, maybe you're just using the car cigarette lighter, but I got one that splits because I have a lot of accessories. Now for running the rear camera, I'm going to go the same route down here behind the channel, but I'm also going to try and pull off these kick plates down here and run it back behind the kick plates, and hopefully see if I can get this thing to focus. Hopefully get it behind the seat belts here and run it all the way through the back seat. So the idea would be to run it through this rear kick plate down here as well, and then ideally just right up behind the seat belts back here. And I don't think there's too much to worry about behind the seat, so we'll kind of just go up behind the seat and pick a spot on the rear window somewhere. Hi Zev. Alright, so lesson 1, mount the camera low enough to where you can take the USB cable in and out. If you mount it too high, the other truck camera will stop it from being able to plug in. So, lesson 1. We've routed the cable up here behind the headliner itself, and if you look over in the corner here, get this thing to focus, it's kind of tucked up in here, and I currently have the wires being tucked in the back here. Just want to show you the tuck in progress. We're going to continue around. This is a pain in the ass. I don't recommend using the inbuilt tool. If you have a different one, please use that. This thing is useless. Alright, it's more tucked in now. You can see we're kind of going through the gasket channel here. I'll try to pull this back a little bit. There is a corner piece there. It's hard to see, but you can wrap it around the corner piece and then start going down the channel. And as you go down the channel, you kind of push it back and tuck it in so it keeps it a little more smooth. Alright, you can see we're all tucked in along the lines here, coming all the way down, and right here we're starting to make our little descent, and we're going to curve back. Alright, we've come to the point for the rear wire. We're going to have to go behind this channel. I've already pried up the kick plate here. It's real easy. It's literally like a couple clips. There's like 1, 2, 3, and they literally just kind of clip in here, a little here, a little there. So real easy. It looks like you can just kind of pull up on this carpeting as well. We're going to run the wire down below here. It's going to be a pain in the ass. This one I don't recommend taking off. I already kind of broke a little piece in there. You can kind of see right down there, kind of broke it, but you can just feed the wire down through it. Alright, so I've got the wire run through the channel down here, and it's going under the door seal, and it's going all the way along. You can kind of see back here, see if I can get it to zoom, kind of see where it comes out right back here along the channel. You could certainly do something with this trim piece and run it under there. I didn't care enough. It's too damn hot outside. Maybe don't do this when it's 105. You can see from the back end here, it just kind of curves over the hump and then tucks right back in. And I took this bottom kick piece off as well, and I've kind of just run it along the carpet through here. And then there's this little cable clip thing, and we'll continue up the backside. Alright, so we have the wire. It has been run behind the plastic trim. It is behind that carpeted firewall protector. And you can kind of see the wire running across here. Still don't know what that wire is, but run it behind the carpet. And then you can see under here slightly, you can see where it ran. This right here is the airbag. Run it around the airbag and up and through, and you can get it up here. It gives you a little slack. There's like barely enough room, and I kind of just fed it through this, and I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in to my USB over there. Alright, so we wrap the cable around from the kick plate, around behind the back seat, and just kind of tuck the rest of it back here, no big deal. And then it runs straight up into the back camera. Now, I found out that there's no real wrong way to install this, whether or not you have the camera on the left or the right of the cable, because you are able to rotate the image in these settings. So yeah, now we'll just go ahead and tuck the chair back up. Just tuck it back up. Everything is nice and clean, and it's tucked up right behind the headrest there. So you can see here we have both the rear camera and the power connected. Like I said, it's screaming at me. I have regular image and then the rear overlaid. You can change it however you want. Again, this is all tucked up underneath the headliner here, real nice and clean. This was a pain in the ass to get the second one in there, the second cable, so I just kind of left it here. I don't really care. If you really want to fight it, go ahead. But then we went around the channel here, and you see it's a little bowed here. I might mess with it a little bit just to kind of try and tuck it in a little tighter. But again, going around that corner it's a hard bend, and I didn't want to damage the cable too much. Again, this I don't really care about. I'm never going to really look at it. As we go down, like I said, this is the most painful place. There's not a lot of room to tuck cables in here, but it was manageable. And if we look down here, we continue down. Down here, again, it's sticking out just a tad bit. I could probably tuck this in a little bit more, but again, it's 105 outside. I'm a little tired. And then you go down, the rear one goes down through this kick plate and through the kick plate into the back. Probably can't see it very well, but it runs behind the seat belt and into the back. And then, like I said, you're going to want to take the front one, go behind the knee airbag for the passenger, come out, and then I have it coming out on this side here. Real kind of neat. You could probably tuck it up in here if you really cared. Again, I have a bunch of cables anyways, so not a big deal. And then I have, like I said, a bunch of other stuff going. So I've got this multi-cigarette car splitter. It does really well. So if you have a guest, you can have them use their own USB cables if you want, or you can run the USB cable over to the other side here. And I've got a 140 watt cigarette lighter that I use for fast charging and then also wireless charging. I have not done these cables nicely because, again, don't care. It's a truck. But I have my little wireless charger over there. So if anybody else needed car charger ports, I could use that. I could use this if I wanted to use wired Android Auto. But that's just how I've got the cable set up for here. Whatever works for you, do your thing. If you don't have this, obviously you have power there for it. You could have a cigarette lighter and have power there for it. Whatever works for your setup particularly. I'm just a little more in depth with my stuff. All right, that's how we install the Viofo A229 Pro into a 2026 Nissan Frontier. Now, I will say, don't do this when it's 105 outside, like in the Texas heat. Do this on a nice overcast day, something that's cool. I had the AC running the entire time in here, and I am still sweating. You hear the stupid thing beeping at me because I didn't put an SD card in it yet. However, let's do a final quick walkthrough. So, I bought this because it had really good reviews on nighttime visibility and daytime visibility without a whole bunch of lens flares and also not a whole bunch of glare at night. I'm going to test it over the next couple of weeks and see how it does. Look at some of the footage as I drive around. See if it really, lives up to the hype. It also came with an ND polarizing filter that I put on the front of the camera. It should help with those, lens flares during the day. However, we'll see if it makes a difference or not. I'm going to try it both with and without and kind of give my opinions on it. So yeah, if y'all were wondering, it's not complicated to do. It just takes a while. I would say this took me probably a good hour and a half, 2 hours. Probably would have took a little less if I wasn't filming, but budget a good 2 hours. If you've never done any work like this before, give it some more time. All right, so this is the Midnight Smith. I will be signing off, and I'll see you all on the next one.